Hello, Internet. My name is Erin Monday. I am a social media professional. I have done social for corporate brands such as IBM, Lenovo, 3M, and now Oracle. I don't usually record these sort of videos because, frankly, I don't have time. I don't have time to edit, so you guys are getting a raw cut. I'm using sort of an old webcam, and I'm in my office, so you can see my boots and my Get Shit Done poster. See, I don't usually do this, sorry. I'm all foxed up because I'm going out to dinner after this, and yeah, a few years ago, I recorded a similar video and it did really, really well, and I just never updated it. And the video was decent, but the audio was terrible. That being said, let's roll in. Today we're going to talk about social media management platforms. Okay, there's a ton of them. A lot of enterprises use Sprinklr. Sprinklr is sort of the gold standard when it comes to enterprise social. I'm going to share my feelings on that platform with you today. What else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about Buffer, let's talk about Hootsuite, and Sprout Social. I realize there's others, but let's focus on those four because frankly, those are sort of the big players. It's not to say things are not changing as they always are with social media. So I'm not sure if I should look at the camera or look down or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good on camera. Whatever. I'm going to go with it. Okay, Sprinklr. Pros. It's pretty much what every big company uses. You know, I mean, when you have a lot of different accounts, when you have a lot of different users, it's sort of the gold standard. It also has the best support for, I don't want to say foreign because that sounds mean, but platforms that are not necessarily with a US majority adaption. So perhaps things you would see in Germany or China. Sprinklr is most likely to have support for sort of those other countries. So when you're a global enterprise company, Sprinklr is going to kind of be the best situated for that. And it's really good for maintaining permissions and users and ensuring different user experiences. So that's sort of the pro for Sprinklr. It lets you schedule your posts, it lets you put out reporting, it lets you sort of get a holistic picture of everyone in your organization, what you're doing, and it's theoretically great. On the con side, it's also extremely expensive. I've seen different enterprise licensing agreements, and I can't really tell you how much it is per license, but I have seen it's several $1,000s. Let me say that. I don't want to give away too much, but it can be several $1,000s per user license, even if you're a big company, which is frankly a lot of money, right? So that's the primary con. The secondary con is that it's extremely complicated to use. I mean, like any piece of software, once you use it, it's great, it's fantastic, you kind of need to know how to use it, but it's not really meant to be user-friendly. The UI is not intuitive, it takes a long time, it takes a lot of hand-holding, so you pretty much need an MSA, you pretty much need a very intensive service agreement, and those are also very expensive. And you're gonna have a huge learning curve for employees who are gonna need to go learn this thing. Yeah, and one thing I forgot on the pro side is it's also good for maintaining compliance and governance and putting standards in. I hate governance and compliance. I feel like it's the worst thing to ever happen to social media because it kind of just kills what social is supposed to be. But if you're into that, if you're looking for a governance and compliance tool, knock yourself out. Sprinklr is the one. So for big companies, that's pretty much what you're stuck with for now, although I do feel like it's a good opportunity for someone else to come in and improve. And on that note, I'm going to switch talking about Sprout Social. So Sprout Social is actually my personal favorite. And if they continue to up the ante, I think they could absolutely start eating Sprinklr's lunch. So some of the things I like about Sprout is they're cost effective, especially in comparison to Sprinklr. They are sort of expanding in ways that put them in a position to compete with Sprinklr. So for example, they purchased Bamboo, which is sort of an employee enablement platform. It kind of dabbles into where Dynamic Signal is. And if people are interested in hearing about employee enablement, I may do a separate video about Dynamic Signal. But for now, let's go back to the focus. Talk about Sprout Social. So Sprout, great UI, great cost. Doesn't have all the features of Sprinklr. Doesn't always have the, the breadth that Sprinklr does. And as far as the UI from a management and governance and compliance perspective, it is not as clean as Sprinklr, right? It's not meant to necessarily be this dashboard of master controls of thousands of accounts. It's more for the, I would say, mid-sized business to the business that's transitioning to the enterprise, but doesn't necessarily have, 100 social media managers on staff. Maybe they have a handful and they can get by with just, decent platform that's easy to use, good reporting built in, publishing built in, tracking built in. What I really like about Sprinklr is customer service. They're fast to respond. They're always open to adding new features. They're always open to conversations. I really enjoy them as a company, and I don't get any kickbacks, by the way. I'm not on the dole. I'm not on the dole. I'm not getting paid by Sprout. But if you're a startup or a smaller company or a mid-sized business or you're growing into an enterprise, I think Sprout's a really good start. It's cost effective. You get a lot of features for your money. So I would recommend Sprout Social. Let's talk about some other ones. So Hootsuite. Hootsuite was sort of an early adapter. It was like the OG social media management platform. I don't mind Hootsuite. Hootsuite's fine. Hootsuite's its own ecosystem, right? Unless you're fully bought into the full Hootsuite ecosystem, you kind of get what you get, right? And it's fine. It's fine. I think it's like very cost effective compared to Sprout. I don't like the UI compared to Sprout or even Sprinklr. It is probably the most cost effective of the three. And it pretty much does everything the other two do. It's just, I don't know. I don't like the UI on it. And again, I don't find it intuitive. It annoys me for the same reason that Sprinklr annoys me. And that the UI should be intuitive. A user should be able to log in, figure out what the hell to do. They shouldn't have to be like, what does this term mean? And what does this field mean? And I have to all these things sound exactly alike, and I'm just supposed to know the difference. And therefore I need a huge contract and a services agreement to understand my ass from my elbow, right? Like that's obviously very annoying and not really something that I really like in software. I like software that's clean, I like software that's easy to use. And of the ones I'm gonna talk about today, I think, Hootsuite kind of, sorry y'all, don't come at me. They're fine though. I mean, and I would recommend them for small businesses because they do start to get into some of those enterprise features. They are price competitive. Startups maybe. I think they have a good handle on the startup pulse. All right, that leads me to the fourth piece of software I want to talk about today, which is Buffer. I always get asked, what about Buffer? So Buffer is sort of like training wheels, right? If Sprinklr is the Ferrari that's expensive and needs a lot of maintenance and a lot of care, kind of like I am the Ferrari of women. That was a joke, by the way. Sprinklr is a Ferrari. Sprout is sort of like the Porsche Boxster. It's like really nice. But you might be able to afford it in your lifetime. It's not like Ferrari level nice, but it's like all right, it's pretty nice. Hootsuite would be kind of your I don't know, nice Mercedes, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to use a car metaphor here. And then Buffer would be kind of like your Honda, right? It's kind of like it does what it needs to do for scheduling. It's really good for scheduling and some basic reporting. It's not really an enterprise level tool. It's not really meant for businesses per se. I would say for startups and very small businesses, mom and pops, maybe even individuals, Buffer can be really good for tracking your calendar and scheduling accounts. And I think they have a free version to get started. So honestly, for someone that's just trying to break into social media, just wants to manage a calendar, just wants to schedule posts, Buffer is your way in. And then you kind of have to learn all the others as you go out. And there's so many more platforms and so many more options, but those are the four that I think are worth talking about right now. And I know there's more. They're going to come at me in sticks, with sticks. On that note, it is currently almost time for me to go to dinner, and I'm gonna just end this video. I'm gonna upload it. And hopefully cancel culture doesn't come and cancel me, because that would suck. All right, I'm looking at the camera, trying, even I'm very shy. Bye.